Today we look at number 5 in our series on the Gospel of Mark, entitled Miracles Around the Lake. And what a lot of material there is in this week's particular study. We have the latter part of Mark chapter 4 and the whole of Mark chapter 5, and there's some amazing events which really do demand our attention. The stilling of the storm at the end of Mark chapter 4 is a stunning example of the power of Jesus, yes, but the concern that he has for his disciples who are terrified they're about to drown, and he has to reassure them and tell the wind and the waves, be quiet, be still. The wind stopped, the water became completely calm, and then he says to his disciples, "Why are you so frightened? Haven't you learned to trust me?" And there's the real meaning behind this particular passage for the disciples. Stunned and terrified, ask each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Yes, it's a demonstration of power. Yes, it's a demonstration of Jesus as the creator, even, you might want to say, who has the ability to tell the wind and the waves to stop. But more importantly, it's a demonstration to the disciples of who they are dealing with. They are both stunned and terrified, but are saying to themselves, yeah, but who is this? Who is this person who we've come to know? Could it possibly be that, yes, he's the Messiah, but more than that, who is this? When they get to the other side of the lake, Jesus meets this man who's demon possessed. You can read all about that in chapter 5. And interesting, when they meet, the evil spirit inside the man says, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of Almighty God? Swear by God that you won't torture me." There's two very interesting things there. First of all, there's no question in the evil spirit's mind who Jesus is. He calls him Son of Almighty God. And then he talks about God using the devil's perspective. I will want to say, "Swear by God you won't torture me, because that's what I believe God does." Terrible picture of God. We have the healing, sending the evil spirits into the pigs and so on, how everybody then wants Jesus to leave. The demoniac wants to stay with Jesus, but Jesus tells him to go and witness for him in the Decapolis, the 10 cities area, and so on. When they get back to the other side, there we see another amazing example of what Jesus can do. They meet with Jairus' daughter, who comes to ask Jesus, "My little daughter is about to die. Please come and place your hands on her so she may be healed and live." And yet then on the way to this miracle, there's another miracle. The miracle of the healing of the woman who had been ill from bleeding for 12 years. She'd spent all her money on doctors, but nobody had been able to help her, to be able to heal her. And when she just touches the edge of his cloak, she's healed. But Jesus recognizes what's happened, and she has to come and tell everybody what's going on. And imagine what all that is about. But Jesus says to her, "My daughter, your trust in me has healed you. Go in peace. You have been completely cured of your disease." And while he's still talking, people from the synagogue leader, Jairus' house, come and say, "I'm sorry, your daughter's dead. Don't bother the teacher anymore." And Jesus says nothing to them. He just talks to Jairus and says, "Don't be afraid, just trust in me." Now that's a very demanding request, I would say. And yet when he goes into the room where this little girl lay, he says, well, she's just sleeping. Everybody laughs at him. And then he says to her, little girl, get up. And then there's that last little touch, which I really love. Everybody standing there with their jaws dropped, stunned. And he simply says, give the little girl something to eat. She's hungry. What a great picture we have of God through Jesus in this particular study.